And
well, I love Miami's to me is one of the sleeper. I think
yeah.
I think Miami is literally some of the most compelling reality to watch out of the
Mm-hmm.
franchise, out of the Housewife franchise. I think it has a great chemistry.
Anyways, Atlanta will be interesting. We're going to end with New Jersey because we're going to have a love fest of Melissa Gorga. We are. But
Yeah.
one person I need to mention, because when we talk about compelling, and I don't know if you're going to say that she has the A, B, C, and C storyline, but are you with me with that Larsa Pippen? Okay, Marki, are we ready to get into it?
Yes.
They always say, oh, Larsa, she was she was kissing ass of the Kardashians, which, by the way, I loved Larsa from her season 1 on Miami. I actually didn't really follow her on the Kardashians. And so it's always that notion of like, oh, she's just a Kardashian has been or whatever. I'm like, I don't think Larsa carries herself that way. When you're friends with her, she loves you. I think if she moves on, she moves on. So the joke that I make, Marki, is Larsa didn't need the Kardashians needed Larsa. That's how much I like her. Yeah.
I love Larsa. If you're not watching the House of Villains on E with Larsa,
Oh my gosh.
she's stealing the show.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I think seeing Larsa on Traitors and the House of Villains has made me fall more in love with Larsa, because I think we get to see the real Larsa outside of how they produce her for Housewives.
Exactly. So Marki's talking about Traitors, which is on the Peacock streaming. It won, I think it won Emmys or an Emmy.
Best reality show of the year.
Wonderful cast. Larsa showed up on that show. That's on Peacock streaming, and also on the E channel. There's the House of Villains second season. She came in late even, and it's like she's making such a presence.
She put Teresa up for elimination. It was so effing brilliant. I fell in love with Larsa even more when she put Teresa up, and you see Teresa's face like, wait, we're supposed to be like housewife, like,
alliance,
like buddies here, and you're not alliance. And she puts her alliance up, and she was like, well, I don't want people in the house to think we have an alliance. It was so brilliant. And then in true Larsa fashion, I loved how she went and then campaigned for Teresa to stay as much as so she was like, look, house, I'm not afraid to put her up, but look, house, she also doesn't have to leave this week.
Larsa gets that thing. I don't know who we were talking about. We've done a pretty substantial episode here. So definitely hashtag randomly with Ronnie Jr. if you want to see all the different clips that I'm talking with Marki Costello. Marki Costello, of course, hosting teacher, manager, et cetera, et cetera. I've worked for her. I've taken her class.
I'm the queen of unscripted. If it comes to unscripted, I am the queen of it. I eat, sleep, and drink it.
I'm saying, yes.
We are the randomly unscripted reality whores, Ronnie and I. So
okay. We may have to do this more once a month. We may have to tackle once a month.
We're going to do a random reality roundup once a month with Ronnie and Marki.
Absolutely. Next time with some drinks, though.
Yes.
Okay, but here's my thing with Larsa. Larsa is so good. And I think I was mentioning this earlier. Sometimes, we were talking about Heather from Dubrow from Orange County. Sometimes people's success or their big, how big they are or how big they show up, it rubs people in the wrong way. So suddenly you're looking at Larsa like, who does she think she is? She's superficial, et cetera, et cetera. Yes, she does love herself, but that's not a reflection on how she treats people, is what I've always thought about her. And some way in that Real Housewives of Miami, it's only sort of put together in this certain formula. So you're right. Being able to see her on Traitors and being able to see her in House of Villains shows that this is who she is. She shows up and she's fun and she's witty and she's charismatic and she's assertive. I think she's
that they're not bringing back Nicole Martin, or she's not coming back.
I think for her own leaving. Yeah.
Because once again, I think her and her husband, they're like the real housewives and couple of Miami. Him being a huge lawyer, the private planes, the beautiful house, her being an anesthesiologist and having great taste. I mean, and she's not afraid to put, I think that's going to be sadly missed.
Yeah.
I love Alexia. A lot of people don't like Alexia. I love Alexia. I love her.
Me too.
She reminds me of Lucy when she's like, how do you say Carl? It's Carol. Carl, a boy? Carl? I don't like it. I love Alexia.
Also, hold on. You as a casting expert, How about people that they will stand in it and stand behind it no matter what?
I love
Alexia does two things that I think is good. Does she say some bad things? Yes, but she also does not care or pander to an audience.
right.
That's number one. And if she does get jammed up, she stands behind it. Like it's almost as if like she'll go deeper into the thing. You know, as most human beings, we're usually like, oh, you know what, Marky? You're right. Actually, I didn't think of it that way. She's not. She's
No.
like, it's almost like she gets defensive. You know, she gets very defensive. Marisol, her earlier seasons, maybe because she was doing luxury PR, it was a little slower. It wasn't really moving. Mama Elsa was moving.
Right.
But Marisol has stepped in and knows how to do this. I like Marisol in the current seasons, and I'm so glad that Housewives of Miami is back. And
Well, I love Miami is to me is one of the sleeper. I think
yeah,
I think Miami is literally some of the most compelling reality to watch out of the
hmm
franchise, out of the Housewife franchise. I think it has a great chemistry. I love Gertie. I love how Gertie, when she went through her breast cancer last season, she
yeah,
took the audience on that journey. She wasn't
mhm.
afraid to show us the good, the bad, the ugly. That's what made that's the A, B, and C story.
And
We
you're right about that because this is Gertie's third season, I think it was.
yes,
All
yes,
three of her seasons, you got something completely different. That's what you were alluding
100%.
to earlier. You were saying that.
They better show Alexia's divorce from Todd, meaning because once again, we got to see that Alexia, you know, you say you were blindsided that you moved into a new apartment and then all of a sudden he didn't want to be with you, like meaning that has more needs to be revealed and hopefully they cover that on the season because you know
Yeah.
why last season was so compelling. We had Lisa and Lenny that
Mhm,
pig,
mhm.
you know, and Lisa going through the divorce and the custody and the kids and the money, and we had, you know, Larsa and you know, Michael Jordan's son.
Yeah,
We had
Marcus, yeah.
yeah, I mean, there was just it was just so good.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting without Dr. Nicole Martin. It's
Mhm,
going to
mhm.
be interesting to see what storylines and what they're sharing this season, especially Alexia with Todd and the
Yeah.
divorce. Um,
Does
and
Adriana get under your skin?
yes, I love her sometimes and I hate her sometimes.
You know what I love about her? Is like when she was giggling with Emilio,
Right.
you know, from the great Gloria
Of
Estefan, right?
course.
And
Yeah.
she's giggling, she's telling her friends, and this is that kind of we talked about it a bit ago with New York, like Luann's delusion. That is the key to this, you know, to be
100%.
compelling. And so Adriana, and this is after she said so many vile things throughout the season, but when it's her
Right.
time, she's happy and she's on fire. It's
Right.
wonderful. But she goes to the group and she says, hey, ladies, you know, I was in the studio with Emilio, and you know, there was this song, and they were going to give it to Camila Cabello, but they gave it to me. And I was
Right.
like, Adriana, sweet heart. There is no world that Camila Cabello is like, we'll get to Camilla later. We've got Adriana.
Right.
And that is what I love when I watch these shows. It's that certain escapism that you need. You know what I
That's
mean?
the brilliance. That's
Last
the brilliance.
casting thing with Miami, because I think it's such a good franchise. You could go back to watch season 1. Season 2 was one of the best, and then it's been delivering each and every season.
Right.
Casting thing, not necessarily Housewives of Miami. Kiki Barth, and it's funny because I don't want to do reboots because that gets a little tiring, but Kiki Barth should be House of Style host if they ever rebooted a show like that. I don't think
Right.
that would be an MTV show now. I think it'd
Right.
be more like a Bravo or an E show, but
Right.
make Kiki Barth be because it was what, Cindy Crawford, Daisy Fuentes,
Right.
Kiki Barth as a new version of a House of Style. That is my casting opinion.
Right. All right, Ronnie, I've got to make dinner, so let's go to New Jersey before. And I want to say one other thing. What do you think about the gossip about?
Hey, Ronnie Jr.